Luis Suárez scored 40 goals in a single season, 2 times more than Karim Benzema, Gonzalo Higuain, and Sergio Aguero combined. He is the only player to outscore Messi and Ronaldo in a single league season, not once, but twice, while they were collecting Ballon d'Ors like trophies on a shelf. And with 300 plus career assists, he set up more goals than legends like Xavi, Iniesta, Modric, and Gerrard. Suarez's obsession with winning at all costs made him a nightmare for defenders. Opponents feared him not just for his goals, but for what he'd do to win. A clever dive, a controversial handball, even biting an opponent. Nothing was off limits. Yet, beneath the chaos and controversy, there was something even more terrifying. A football genius. One of the most creative and unstoppable strikers of his generation. At his peak, Suarez tore through defenses, carried Liverpool on his back, and came inches away from Premier League immortality. A complete forward who could score goals you wouldn't believe. A backheel kick from an impossible angle. A Barcelona, Suarez wasn't just another star. He was the missing piece that transformed greatness into invincibility. But in Uruguay, he was more than that. He embodied the spirit of La Garacharrua. You play every action as if it were your last. So, when we strip away the controversies and focus on pure football ability, just how good was prime Luis Suarez? Luis Suarez's football journey began in Salto, Uruguay in 1987, a city where most families struggled just to put food on the table. His family wasn't just poor, they couldn't afford shoes poor. He grew up with his parents and 6 brothers in a tiny house where space was limited and life was anything but easy. But through all the stages, he found one thing that made him happy: football. Like most South American kids, little Suarez played barefoot in the rough streets, his feet scraping against the ground as he tried to imitate his idol, Gabriel Batistuta. Then came 1994, the year everything changed. At just 7 years old, Suarez's family left Salto for Montevideo, the capital of Uruguay. It should have been a fresh start, but for little Suarez, it felt like a nightmare. He was afraid to leave home, so his parents would let him stay with his grandmother for a while. But when he finally joined them, the city was nothing like he had imagined. Montevideo felt enormous, cold, and unforgiving. His thick Salto accent made him an outsider. The other kids mocked him for it. He wanted to play football outside, but the streets felt dangerous. And the first time he finally stepped outside to play, bang, a car hit him. A broken foot, weeks of pain, no football. For the first time in his life, Suarez felt completely lost. Then, at 14, another heavy blow. His parents divorced, leaving his mother alone with 7 children. Suddenly, money became an even bigger problem than before. To help, little Suarez did everything he could, cleaning streets, skipping bus rides to walk home from training, just to save a few extra dollars for his mother. Football was no longer just a game. It was his only way out of poverty. At 14, he joined Nacional's youth team, one of the biggest clubs in Uruguay. He had talent, no doubt about it, but his temper was a problem. His emotions often got the best of him, skipping practice, staying out late, drinking, and falling in with the wrong crowd. One time after getting sent off, he lost control and headbutted a referee in anger. Nacional had seen enough. They were ready to kick him out. But just when it seemed over, one coach stood up for him, warning that this was his final chance. One more mistake and his dream was gone. Many doubted he would make it. But then, for the first time in his life, luck was on Suarez's side. He met his guardian angel. Just when he needed to turn his life around, Sofia Balbi came into the picture, his future wife and the only person who could truly calm him down. She believed in him, pushed him to focus on football, and convinced him he could make it to the top. The result? A jaw-dropping 63 goals in a single year. Just one short of breaking the Academy's all-time record, held by Uruguayan legend Ruben Sosa. But just as when things were finally falling into place, another challenge hit him hard. Sofia's family moved to Barcelona, and just like that, Suarez was alone again. He could have spiraled back into trouble, but instead he made Sofia a promise. I'll become so good they'll have to bring me to Europe, and I'll be by your side in Barcelona. True to his word, at just 18 years old, Suarez made his professional debut for Nacional, taking his first step towards that promise. In his first full season, he scored 12 goals in 34 games. Not mind-blowing numbers, but enough to get noticed. Scouts from Europe saw his hunger, his fight, and his refusal to give up. Then came a lifeline. FC Groningen, a small Dutch club, decided to take a gamble on him. It wasn't a dream to move to Barcelona or Real Madrid, but it was an opportunity, and more importantly, he was one step closer to Sofia. And for Suarez, that was all he needed. Suarez had reached Europe, but his true transformation was yet to come. Liverpool would turn him into a monster. Luis Suárez had taken his first step into Europe with Groningen and exploded into a superstar at Ajax. But his dream wasn't to dominate the Dutch league. He wanted more. He wanted the biggest stage. After scoring 111 goals in 159 games for Ajax, he was too good to ignore. Yet for all his brilliance, there were some warning signs. Clashes with referees, fights with teammates, and then there was the bite. On November the 20th, 2010, during a heated Eredivisie match, Suarez bit PSV Eindhoven's Otman Bakal on the shoulder. The referee did not see it, but Ajax did. They called it unacceptable behavior and suspended him immediately. The Dutch media, they had a new nickname for him, the Cannibal of Ajax. The Dutch FA took it further, a 7-game ban. Ajax had seen enough. Suarez was a time bomb and they were more than ready to sell. And Liverpool, they were in desperation mode. They had just lost their golden boy Fernando Torres to Chelsea for a British record of 50 million euros. Their attack was in shambles. Anfield needed a new hero. The club had just been saved from financial disaster, but now the fans were watching closely. Did the new ones have the ambition to bring Liverpool back to the top? Liverpool needed a statement signing, and in January 2011, they found one. Luis Suárez. But here's the funny part. He wasn't meant to be the headline signing. Liverpool, or rather their manager at the time, Kenny Dalglish, got scammed. They didn't just sign Suarez. They panicked and spent 35 million euros on Andy Carroll, a record fee for a British player, more than they paid for Suarez. Sure, blame the English tax, but Carroll was playing in the Championship the season before. And yet, he was seen as the real superstar signing. But history had other plans. Because while Carroll figure of the decade, it didn't take long for Suarez to announce himself to English football. Just 16 minutes into his debut, he dribbled past the goalkeeper and scored against Stoke City. It was a glimpse of what was to come. Suarez wasn't like other strikers. He was relentless, an animal on the pitch, a striker who could do everything. Dribble past defenders, create chances, press like a madman and score goals that defied logic. But his first full season was still frustrating. Liverpool were struggling and Suarez didn't have the right support. The highlight of his season? Not a goal, but a scandal. During a match against Manchester United, he was accused of racially abusing Patrice Evra. The FA launched an investigation. Suarez was found guilty and banned for 8 games. Liverpool backed him completely. Players and staff wore t-shirts in his support. It only made things worse. The next Liverpool vs Manchester United match wasn't just a rivalry. It was a war. Before kickoff, Evra extended his hand. Suarez refused to shake it. Old Trafford erupted in boos. The abuse was relentless, but despite the chaos, Suarez kept scoring. The next season, Liverpool appointed Brendan Rodgers as manager. Rodgers had one mission: rebuild the team around Suarez and play a more exciting brand of football. And it worked. Suarez exploded. He scored 30 goals in 33 league games, finishing as the league's top scorer alongside Robin van Persie. Liverpool finished 5th, securing a Europa League spot. but controversy followed him again. Against Chelsea, he bit Branislav Ivanovic, another FA investigation, 10-match ban. His reputation was in ruins. Liverpool knew they had to protect him. Rodgers came up with a plan. Number 1. Always defend Suarez in public and insist he had learned from his mistakes. Number 2. Provide him with psychological support to control his emotions. Number 3. Keep him involved with the team during his ban. And number 4. Encourage teammates to rally around him. It worked. Suarez was reintegrated smoothly into the starting lineup, but knowing there was trouble in paradise, Arsenal tried to take advantage of the situation in the summer transfer window. They made a €40.1 million bid for Suarez, believing it would trigger his release clause. Liverpool rejected it instantly, saying they had no intention of selling their star after all the effort they had put into him. Then, Liverpool's owner famously tweeted, "What do you think they're smoking over there at Emirates?" And Suarez, he stayed and had one of the most dominant individual seasons in Premier League history. 31 goals and 13 assists in 33 games. A 1.30 contributor per game. No penalties, every goal from open play. Liverpool scored 101 goals, the most in club history. Suarez outscored the entire Manchester United squad, and when Steven Gerrard was injured, he wore the captain's armband. Some of his goals were unreal. A hat-trick against Norwich, including an unbelievable half-volley. The goalkeeper didn't even move. A solo dribble, 5 defenders against Tottenham. A backheel nutmeg goal that left defenders frozen. With 3 games left, Liverpool were top of the league. The title was within reach. Then, a disaster happened. Against Chelsea, Gerrard slipped and Dembaba scored. Liverpool lost. Jose celebrated in Mourinho fashion. A week later, against Crystal Palace, Liverpool led 3-0. In 6 minutes, they bottled everything. The game ended 3-3. Suarez was in tears. Liverpool fans in the stands were heartbroken. The rivals were over the moon, nicknaming the goal the Kristen Ball. The dream was over. Despite the heartbreak, Suarez won numerous individual trophies. Golden Boot winner, PFA Player of the Year, European Golden Shoe winner, the only player to outscore both Messi and Ronaldo in a single season, without penalties. Despite his stellar performance and the emotional connection he had with the fans, tensions arose. Suarez made public statements about wanting to play for a club capable of competing in the Champions League and winning major trophies. After those words, everyone knew it was over. Liverpool couldn't match his ambition. He wanted Champions League football. He wanted the biggest trophies. His time at Anfield was up in the air, and what happened next would seal his fate. During the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil, Suarez bit Italian defender Giorgio Chiellini, a 4-month ban. He would miss the first 9 games of the Premier League season. The British tabloids went wild, branding him a cannibal and running exaggerated headlines as usual. Former UK Prime Minister David Cameron even weighed in, calling for the FA to make an example of him. The incident dominated sports and mainstream news, with memes, debates, and even brands mocking Suarez, turning his act into one of the most infamous moments in the World Cup history. Even Sofia Balbi, Suarez's wife, mentioned that people in supermarkets were mocking him. The intense public pressure was affecting his family. Meanwhile, Barcelona was watching. They needed a top striker and saw the situation as a golden opportunity. Steven Gerrard begged Suarez to stay, but he had made up his mind. Sofia wanted to go to Barca. She saw it as a way to escape the relentless media attacks in England. For Suarez, leaving Liverpool wasn't just about football. He let Sofia down. Moving to Barcelona meant reuniting with her parents and giving her a peaceful life. And in Spanish football, his on-field behavior would be more accepted. And after tearing up the Premier League, it was time for Suarez to conquer the world. After years of brilliance and controversy, Luis Suárez had reached a crossroads. Liverpool was behind him. His reputation in England was beyond repair, but in Spain, he had a fresh start. In July 2014, Barcelona signed Suarez for €81 million despite his 4-month ban for biting Giorgio Chiellini. A massive gamble. Many questioned if he was worth the risk. Was he too unpredictable? Too aggressive? Could he adapt to Barcelona's style? One thing was certain. He was stepping into one of the greatest teams in football history. A team built around Lionel Messi and Neymar, two of the best attackers in the world. It didn't take long for them to form a deadly connection. 3 South American superstars, 3 unique styles, and together, Suarez wasn't just fitting in, he was elevating Messi and Neymar to new levels. His pressing movement and link-up play were perfect for Barcelona's philosophy. And then, when he finally returned from suspension, it was time to unleash MSN. From 2014 to 2017, Barcelona played some of the best attacking football had ever seen. And at the heart of it all, Luis Suárez. Suarez debuted on October 25, 2014 against Real Madrid. His first goal? A classic finish against Ajax in the Champions League. Despite missing the first 2 months, he still ended the season with 25 goals, 23 assists, a goal contribution every 1.08 games. And Barcelona? They didn't just win. They conquered Europe. La Liga, Copa del Rey, Champions League, the treble. Suarez played a massive role in the Champions League final against Juventus. Barcelona was leading 2-1 when Messi's shot was saved. But Suarez pounced on the rebound and buried it. It was his moment. A goal that sealed his first Champions League trophy. And just like that, the MSN era was in full swing. If 2015 was about proving himself, 2016 was about domination. Suarez was unstoppable. He scored 59 goals in all competitions, his best ever season. In La Liga, he won the European Golden Shoe with 40 goals, becoming the only player in the Messi-Ronaldo era to outscore both in a single season. He averaged 1.08 goals per game, leading Barcelona's attack in one of the most dominant seasons in football history. Barcelona humiliated teams with absurd scorelines. They beat Getafe 6-0 with Suarez scoring twice and assisting twice. Against Deportivo, they won 8-0, with Suarez registering 4 goals and 3 assists. In a 6-1 win over Celta Vigo, he scored a hat-trick, including his famous pass penalty with Messi. But Suarez wasn't just scoring, he was also creating. That season, he recorded 24 assists, bringing his total goal contributions to 83. MSN destroyed everything in their path. Barcelona finished the season with 116 goals in the league, the highest in Europe. Barcelona dominated Spain, winning La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the Spanish Super Cup, cementing their status as the best team in the world. And Suarez, he became the only player in the Messi-Ronaldo era to win the European Golden Shoe twice. By now, Suarez was a complete forward, the most dominant number 9 in world football. He had adapted his game to fit Barcelona's style perfectly. His pressing was relentless, his link-up play with Messi and Neymar was seamless. His vision made him one of the most underrated playmakers in the world. He finished the season with 37 goals and 18 assists in 51 games. That's a goal contribution every 1.05 games. Barcelona won the Copa del Rey, but in the league, they finished second. And in the Champions League, they were eliminated despite the historic 6-1 comeback versus PSG. But in that game, Suarez scored the first goal, won the penalty, and set the tone for the greatest comeback in UCL history. But the era of dominance was beginning to show cracks. After Neymar's departure to PSG in 2017 for €222 million shattered the world record, the MSN trio was officially broken. Barcelona still had Messi and Suarez, but something had changed. Without Neymar's flair, the team lost the fluidity and unpredictability that made them unstoppable. Suarez had to take on a bigger role, both as a goalscorer and as a leader. His chemistry with Messi remained strong, but the team was not the same. Still, Suarez continued to deliver incredible numbers. In the 2017 to 2018 season, Suarez scored 31 goals and provided 17 assists in 51 games across all competitions. That's nearly 1 goal contribution per game. His performances helped Barcelona to reclaim the La Liga title and win the Copa del Rey, securing a domestic double. One of the standout moments of his season was in El Clásico, where he scored against Real Madrid in a dominant 3-0 victory at the Santiago Bernabeu. But despite domestic success, Barcelona's Champions League campaign ended in a disappointment once again. In the following season, Suarez remained a key figure for Barcelona, scoring 26 goals and registering 12 assists in 49 games. Even though his numbers dipped slightly, he still contributed to a goal every 0.78 games, showing his continued efficiency in attack. During this season, Suarez delivered one of his most iconic El Clásico performances. In October 2018, with Messi out injured, Suarez stepped up and scored a hat-trick in a 5-1 demolition of Real Madrid. It was a statement performance, proving that he was still one of the best strikers in the world. Barcelona won La Liga once again, but their Champions League dream turned into a nightmare. After beating Liverpool 3-0 in the first leg of the semi-finals, Barcelona collapsed at Anfield, losing 4-0 in one of the most humiliating defeats in club history. For Suarez, the loss was personal. He had returned to the club that made him a superstar, only to be completely shut down and eliminated. In his final season with Barcelona, Suarez was now 33 years old, and the club they lost the La Liga title to Real Madrid, and in the Champions League, they suffered their worst ever defeat, a 8-2 humiliation against Bayern Munich in the quarter-finals. The club was falling apart. Even Messi publicly stated that Barcelona needed drastic changes, even if it meant letting him go. The golden era was officially over. After 6 years at the club, Suarez was forced out. The Barcelona board decided that he was no longer needed. Newly appointed manager Ronald Koeman called Suarez and in a 2-minute phone call told him that he was not in his plans. No proper farewell with the fans after everything he had given to the club. Barcelona believed he was too old, too slow, no longer good enough. But Luis Suarez, he was about to prove them completely wrong. Barcelona had cast him aside. They thought he was finished, but Suarez, he was about to show them why you should never doubt a legend. And in his next chapter, he would get the ultimate revenge. For Barcelona, Suarez was past his prime, no longer capable of winning the biggest games. But Diego Simeone saw something different. He saw a warrior, a predator with a point to prove. Atletico Madrid took the gamble, signing Suarez on a free transfer. Barcelona, convinced he was no longer a threat, allowed him to stay in La Liga. They had no idea what was coming. From the very first match, Suarez was a man on a mission. He scored twice and assisted once on his debut game against Granada, immediately proving that he still had plenty to give. Week after week, he delivered. He scored crucial winners, led the line with his signature aggression, and became the difference maker in tight games. With Suarez leading the charge, Atletico Madrid surged to the top of La Liga. His goals turned draws into wins, keeping them ahead of Real Madrid and Barcelona. Then, on the final day of the season, everything came full circle. Atletico needed a victory to secure the title. They went down 1-0 to Real Valladolid. Then, Suarez took over. He assisted the equalizer before scoring the winning goal, the goal that made Atletico champions of Spain. The whistle blew, and Suarez collapsed on the pitch, crying. The emotions poured out. He pulled out his phone and called Messi and Neymar from the pitch, his closest friends, the ones who knew his pain, his fight, and his redemption. They celebrated with him even from afar. Barcelona had thrown him away, but now he was a champion again. Luis Suarez ended the 2020-21 season as Atletico Madrid's top scorer, scoring 21 goals in 32 league games and leading the club to its first La Liga title in 7 years. Suarez had his revenge. He had proven everyone wrong. But while clubs doubted him, there was one place where his legacy was never questioned. One place where he was always loved. For Luis Suárez, playing for Uruguay was never just about football. It was about identity, pride, and the relentless spirit of La Garra. From the moment he put on the Celeste jersey, he wasn't just another player, he was a fighter, a warrior, a leader. He was destined to become one of Uruguay's greatest legends. In 2010, Suarez led Uruguay to the World Cup semi-finals, their best finish since 1970. He scored 3 goals, but his defining moment wasn't a goal. It was a sacrifice. In the final moments of extra time, Ghana had a shot destined for the back of the net, a goal that would have sent Uruguay home, but Suarez stood on the goal line, and with one instinctive motion, he threw out his hand and blocked it. A red card, a penalty. As he walked off the pitch, he couldn't watch. Then Asamoah Gyan missed. Uruguay won on penalties. Suarez wasn't just a player, he was a martyr for victory. To the world, he was a villain. To Uruguay, he was a hero. A year later, he reached the pinnacle of international success. In the 2011 Copa America, Suarez was unstoppable, scoring 4 goals, including one in the final against Paraguay. Uruguay won their first major trophy since 1995, and Suarez was named best player of the tournament. Over the years, he continued to deliver on the biggest stage, scoring in multiple World Cups and Copa America tournaments. He became Uruguay's all-time top scorer, amassing 69 goals in 143 appearances. For many, he is Uruguay's greatest player ever. Luis Suárez was the last of a dying breed, a throwback to the pure, ruthless number 9s of old, but with the flair and unpredictability of street football. A striker who could do it all, score from anywhere, create like a playmaker, and fight like a gladiator. Over the course of his career, he conquered 3 different leagues, winning 5 titles and leaving his mark wherever he played. When he left Barcelona, he did so as the club's 3rd all-time top scorer with 198 goals, more than legends like Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, Eto'o, and even Neymar. He was also a 2-time European Golden Shoe winner, the only player to break the Messi-Ronaldo dominance. And with Uruguay, he made history by helping his country win the Copa America, cementing his status as a national icon. But greatness is not just measured in silverware alone. It lives in moments. The outrageous goals, the impossible dribbles, the vision that turned teammates into stars. He had flawless close control, extraordinary balance, raw courage, and explosive pace. But there was something more, something deeper. He suffered for his genius. His brilliance came at a cost. The bites, the dives, the fierce rivalries. He played with fire, and sometimes that fire burned too hot. Yet, in his flaws, he became more than just a footballer. He became human, relatable, mortal, and a player who embraced both light and darkness. And in the end, he fulfilled his greatest promise, the one he made to Sophia all those years ago. He told her that he would reach Europe and join her in Barcelona, but he didn't just join her there, he became a legend there.